high definition.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Gwen Bevel. Daryl is off tonight. One parent in a Wichita Falls neighborhood says he plans now to always stay outside to watch over his children after a man was caught allegedly trying to kidnap and assault a 7-year-old girl over the weekend. Kenzie Meekback spoke with this parent, who also was one of the witnesses who helped rescue the young girl.
Brad Ware is a resident and parent who lives on Elizabeth Avenue, who says it was a normal Saturday afternoon with all of the neighborhood kids playing outside when something happened that reminded them all that today's normal can pose many risks to children. 26-year-old Rayshawn Perez is accused of trying to kidnap and assault a 7-year-old girl.
Over there, she was just playing on a scooter, and then he just came up and grabbed her and started walking, and then I came in and told them what happened, and then I followed them.
Thomas Smith, one of the kids out in the neighborhood, followed his gut instincts and ran to get the nearest adult.
Me and my wife were sitting on the couch, and this young man, he ran up to the door and told me, Brad, some guy just kidnapped this little girl. And the first thing that came to my mind, I took off out the door.
Ware said he initially tried to run on foot to try to find Perez and the girl, but turned back around to get his car. Ware and his wife left in the vehicle and began looking for Perez. He said they were pointed toward the direction he fled by other witnesses, and they found the alley Perez went down. They saw Perez trying to put the girl through a window of an abandoned home near Clark Street and Huff Street. Ware's wife yelled for Perez to put the girl down. Eventually, he did.
He took off running, and I caught him in the street and kicked him in the groin when I had him, and he squirmed off and ran across the street, and then as soon as he ran across the street and hit the grass is when I tackled him.
He held Perez until officers arrived, and when Ware asked Perez what he was doing, he says he told him he just wanted to have sex with the girl. Police say Perez said after having sex he planned to return the girl to her home, but in the end, Ware says thanks to Thomas Smith's help, this little girl got home safe.
You know, he's the one that more or less that saved his kid from being killed or raped, you know.
Now Ware says he'll stay outside with the kids and is grateful that they always look out for one another. Kenzie Meekbeck, KFDX 3 News.
When we looked inside that abandoned home on Clark, we saw a burned phone book, a half-empty bottle of wine, a Bible, and other items that made it appear as though someone had been staying there. Again, Perez is charged with aggravated kidnapping with a $50,000 bond. Terrifying situations like this can happen quickly, which is why the Wichita Falls Police Department is reminding parents to remain extremely vigilant. Sergeant Harold McClure says you should always keep a close eye on your children. Never allow them to go out to play alone without some sort of supervision, especially your younger children. He says get to know your neighbors who in this latest scare were responsible for bringing the little girl home safe. Sergeant McClure says it's also important to talk to your children.
Let them know, hey, if you see someone that you don't recognize, don't go up to them. If someone tries to get you to do something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do it. Run to an adult that you know.
Sergeant McClure also says you should teach your children that if someone does grab them to resist, scream, yell, kick, and fight. A Burke Burnett woman facing more than 24 counts of injury to a child has been granted her request for a lower bond. Sarah Woody's bonds had totaled around $3 million, but 30th District Judge Bob Brotherton agreed to lower each of 27 counts to $15,000 each for a total of just over $400,000. She remains in the Wichita County Jail tonight. In previous motions, Woody's attorney has filed to be informed of any agreement prosecutors make with the other defendant, Woody's husband, Jonathan Woody, who is also charged with multiple counts of child abuse. In forensic interviews, 7 and 12-year-old boys revealed multiple incidents of alleged abuse that included being hit with spoons on their tongues and having their tongues burned with a lighter. If Woody is able to post bond, conditions include no contact with anyone under 18 years old, observe a curfew between 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 a.m., and checking in with her attorney once a week. Crime Stoppers needs your help tracking down those responsible for shooting a house several times back in September. It happened at 1617 Ruidosa on Sunday, September 25th at around 5 p.m. Officers say several rounds were fired at the house and one went through a bedroom window and struck an interior wall. If you have any information about this crime or any felony crime, Please call Crime Stoppers 24 hours a day at 322-9888. You never have to give your name, and if your information leads to the arrest and board approval, you could earn up to $1,000. President-elect Donald Trump has indicated he will announce his pick for America's top diplomat tomorrow morning, and it will likely be a Wichita Falls native. Rex Tillerson started out as an engineer with ExxonMobil in 1975, taking the helm of the energy giant 11 years ago. Under his leadership, Exxon has backed a carbon tax and the Paris Climate Accord that Mr. Trump has vowed to walk away from. And in March, he expressed interest in doing business under the right conditions with Iran.
A lot of our European competitors are in working actively. I don't know that we're necessarily at a disadvantage. The history of Iranian in foreign investment in the past, their terms were always quite challenging, quite difficult. We never had large investments in Iran for that reason.
It's Tillerson's long ties to Moscow that are causing some concern on Capitol Hill. Vladimir Putin has known Tillerson for more than 2 decades and in 2013 awarded him the Russian Federation's Order of Friendship Medal. Iowa Park leaders say they cannot help a woman who's dealing with expensive water damage to her home after a water main break last month. Tonight, Tressa Boyd went in front of the city council asking the city to help pay for repairs. She told them the main break, which happened back on November 15th on Johnson Road, left her home covered in rock, cement, and hundreds of gallons of water. She estimates close to $30,000 in damage. Tonight, city leaders did apologize to Boyd for this incident, but said they are not liable.
You know, sometimes when you get a claim, the city tries to help the best they can. They may not know the law directly or the professionals, you know, as far as, you know, knowing the law, and I can understand, you know, people want to help in these situations. And and not know exactly what to do or say because it's a delicate situation, and I can understand your concern in that, but as far as, you know, this claim and this, as far as, you know, that's all we can do. As far as, you know, there's just not any coverage for the claim.
There needs to be some way that a message is sent to every homeowner in this town that the city sewer, water, or whatever can ruin your property, but you're not liable for it because I didn't know it and nobody else in this town knows it. And I don't know if all of them know that.
After the meeting, Boyd told us her family will file a home insurance claim, but in the end, she wants Iowa Park residents to know that this could happen to them. Well, after breaking ground a year ago, construction on the Career and Tech Center near Hatton Road is moving right along. Matt McCulloch joined school board members today who got a sneak peek inside that facility.
Yeah, I did. I gotta say, it was pretty impressive. Now it's 123,000 square feet, and despite some weather delays, the center will be open for students next school year. The Career and Tech Center, WFISD's newest building, is still several bricks away from being complete, but seeing the progress is getting board members excited.
You really can't see the color schemes, you can't see the nuances of the building whenever it's finished, but we wanted to show them the nuts and bolts, the guts of the building.
The center will offer 28 career programs for high school students to get certification in. Career paths like cosmetology, auto mechanics, culinary arts, and more.
We've had classes here or there, but we haven't had a comprehensive program. In other words, you might have been able to take an architecture class, but it wasn't necessarily connected to something else. Now it's going to be. We know that our students need to be prepared to do something when they leave us. And that's our goal, that's our mission, you need to be prepared for something versus just, I have a high school diploma, now what? We want you to be prepared for something.
The center will end up costing around $30 million, which is on track with the amount estimated in the bond decision last May. And Kurt says it will be unlike any ordinary school building.
We don't have a cafeteria, we don't have a gym, big space, so we have what we call learning stairs. And so it's kind of like a central gathering place for students, staff, whoever. We can hold big events there. We can open up some walls. They have movable glass walls, and we can put up like banquet facilities.
By summer, the construction site will be transformed into something special that the entire district will be proud of. Kurt says that the project is back on track and is expected to be completed by July. That's just in time for students to go back to school.
Very exciting for all of those students, Matt. Thank you. Well, stick around because a little later we'll show you some educational toys for those kiddos on your Christmas wish list. Plus, Golden Globe nominations are out, and This Is Us broke a nomination dry spell for NBC. A look at other nominees in TV and film before the Globes next month that you will be able to catch right here on KFDX. Stay with us.